Did Jeudy just leak the Browns' secret quarterback plan on national TV? Because if you caught that pause, that smirk, then you already know. Shedeur Sanders isn't waiting for his shot. He's taking it.
When you go out there and let's say Denzel Ward, you had great competition in college because you had Pat Surtain, you had to deal with him in college, and I'd be damned if he didn't come join you in Denver. So you got an opportunity to work with one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. So, Drew, when you're going out there and somebody lines up across to you and you have a certain route, tell me what's going. Tell our listeners and our viewers what's going through your mind.
First, I just gotta, gotta know the play, know where I'm at on the field, first. Then once I line up, I look at the safety, see where the coverage at, look at the safety. Then I look at the leverage of the DB in front of me, depending on my route. Then I just think about the technique of how I'm gonna run this route, depending on if it's a slant and he outside leverages, am I gonna spray him and attack his leverage and make him think I want to go outside and get underneath, or if he inside of me, if I'm going it, or I'm gonna just quick jab and take it in.
This right here, this is how dynasties are born. Not with some flashy press release. Not even with a coaching staff announcement. No, it starts in a quiet interview in a calm moment. When a star receiver like Jeudy sits across from Shannon, sharp, and says something that changes the whole season. He didn't shout it. He didn't name names. But if you were really listening, if you caught the look in his eyes, the rhythm in his voice, you heard it. Jeudy just told us who the real starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns is going to be. And the answer, it's not who anyone expected. Because while everyone else was busy debating Joe Flacco's experience, Kenny Pickett's potential, and Dillon Gabriel's speed, Jeudy saw something nobody else did. He saw Shedeur Sanders take control of that quarterback room, quietly, strategically, unmistakably. Now, I know what you're thinking. He said we've got for great quarterbacks. And yeah, that sounds like the safe answer. But listen again. Watch his face, hear the pause, feel the shift. That wasn't just a compliment. That was a signal. A signal that Cleveland's quarterback future isn't just being discussed, it's already being decided. But what happened next? Nobody saw it coming, not even the critics. Because what Jerry said after that moment wasn't some meaningless athlete speak. It was layered, subtle, but powerful. He talked about doing their thing. He talked about his job being to make it easy for whoever's at the helm. He talked about getting open, about making the quarterback look good, but not just any quarterback. No. The way he spoke, the way he smiled, the rhythm of his words. It was like he already knew. He's seen this before. He's played with Tua. He's practiced with Russell Wilson. He's caught passes from quarterbacks who knew how to win. So, when he says one of these young guys is doing his thing, you better believe he's not just hyping up the room. He's telling us something big. Because Shedeur Sanders, he's not just another rookie. He's Coach Prime's son. He's been bred for this moment, built for this league. And according to the man catching passes from him in practice every day, Shedeur's already showing signs of greatness. And just when you think you figured him out, Shedeur changes the whole game. Let's be real. The Browns haven't exactly been known for quarterback stability. Every year it's a new name, a new plan, a new promise, but this time, feels different. And Jeudy's comments are the clearest clue yet that this rookie might just be ready to lead. Because it's not just about arm strength or throwing motion. It's about that presence, that calm under pressure, that instinct to make the right read, the right throw, the right move when it matters most. And when Jeudy talks about making it easy for whoever's under center, that's code. That's wide receiver talk for. This guy sees what I see. He's not just playing the position, he's mastering it. Now, we could talk about Joe Flacco and his Super Bowl ring. We could talk about Kenny Pickett's flashes in Pittsburgh. We could talk about Dillon Gabriel's college numbers. But none of that matters if the man in practice day in, day out is consistently outsmarting the defense, moving the chains, building chemistry with his top weapon. And right now, that man looks like Shedeur Sanders.
Have you noticed anything? Has anybody stood out to you?
I feel like we got a great. The biggest thing that I'm thankful for is just having four great quarterbacks. That's go out there and compete every day. That been doing their thing.
Come on with that.
They been doing their thing, man. Yeah, I'm telling you what it is, man. We got four great quarterbacks, man. They all been doing their thing for real. So I'm just. My job is to make it easy. Whoever at the helm, I'm just going to get open for him and, do my thing. For real. I don't got no control over that, man. Whoever the coaching staff choose and whoever they pick to be the quarterback, I'm just make their job easier when they throw me the ball.
here's the part that stunned even the veterans. Stay with me. Because Jeudy wasn't just talking about throwing mechanics or highlight reels. He was talking about chemistry. That thing you can't coach. That invisible thread between quarterback and receiver where every adjustment, every read, every route tweak happens without a word. That's what separates the good from the great. And when a receiver as polished as Jeudy starts hinting that it's already happening, that's not nothing. That's a warning shot to the rest of the AFC North. Now let's break this down. Jeudy says Stefanski and the Browns coaching staff have given him freedom to adjust routes, manipulate splits, attack leverage mid-play. That's not something you give to just any receiver. That's what you do when you have trust. When the game plan lives in your bones. So what happens when your QB matches that same football IQ? Magic, pure magic. This is where Cleveland made the move that rewrote the entire season. Because think about it, Jeudy doesn't have time to wait. He's 25, in his prime, coming off a Pro Bowl season. He's never had a winning season in the NFL. He's hungry, he's ready, and he needs a quarterback who's not just competent, but next level. Someone who can see the field like he does. Someone who's been breaking down film since middle school. Someone who understands route timing, safety leverage, and split second anticipation like it's second nature. That's Shedeur Sanders, and that's 74.8% college completion percentage. That's not just impressive, that's surgical. That's what happens when a quarterback throws with purpose, when he trusts his eyes, and when his top target, his W1 is a technician like Jeudy. The results speak for themselves, but champions aren't made in comfort. What Shedeur did next proved exactly that, because this isn't a guy who walked into an easy situation. Shedeur is stepping into a crowded QB room. He's competing with names that have clout, that have tape, that have wins, but that hasn't rattled him. If anything, it's fueled him. And the way Jeudy talked about that room, the energy, the competition, the quiet confidence, that's not a battle, it's a takeover in progress. You're about to hear the moment that had fans, players, even rivals on their feet. See, everything Jeudy said in that interview circles back to one word: trust. He didn't have to say, "I trust Shedeur Sanders." He didn't need to call him out by name. The trust was in his tone, in the way he described his role. My job is to make it easy for whoever is at the helm. That's not something you say unless you already know who the guy at the helm is. And listen, this is coming from a receiver who's dealt with more QB instability than most players face in a decade. Denver was a mess every week. It felt like a new guy was under center. There was no rhythm, no consistency, no identity. But now Jeudy's got 4 options in Cleveland, and somehow he's smiling. Why? Because he sees something. And that something is wearing no to Shedeur Sanders doesn't just throw a pretty ball. He throws a time ball, a ball with purpose, a ball that comes out exactly when Jeudy's route hits its breakpoint. That kind of chemistry doesn't happen by accident. It happens because of ours in the film room. It happens because Shedeur gets it. He understands the intricacies of the NFL passing game in a way most rookies don't. And that understanding is already starting to show up in practice. Let this next moment sink in, because it might just define the future of the Browns. And Shedeur Sanders himself. Now imagine this. It's late in the second quarter of a preseason game. The Browns are trailing by 4. The offense needs a spark. Stefanski looks down the sideline, and instead of pointing to the vet, instead of playing it safe, he points to Shedeur. And within minutes, everything changes. The huddle calms down. The O-line straightens up. Jeudy lines up wide and gives that little nod, the one that says, "Yeah, let's do this." And Shedeur, he nods back. No panic, no pressure, just poise. That's the kind of presence Jeudy's been waiting for his entire NFL career. It's not just about the talent, though. Shedeur has that in spades. It's about the leadership, the presence, the rare command of a game that usually takes years to develop. But Shedeur, he's been groomed for this. By Coach Prime, by competition, by the spotlight. While other kids were learning how to throw, Shedeur was learning how to read. Defenses, body language, situational leverage. It's all second nature now. That's why Jeudy trusts him. That's why the Browns might be leaning toward him. And that's why this entire QB controversy might be over before it even starts. Let's talk impact now. Because this decision whether to start a rookie or go with a veteran doesn't just affect the Browns. It affects the AFC North. It affects playoff positioning. It affects the legacy of a front office that's been searching for stability for over a decade. But the most important impact, it's on Jeudy himself. This is a make or break year for him. He's in his prime. He's coming off a Pro Bowl season. He's already said he wants to be mentioned with the elite guys like Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and Tyreek Hill. You don't get there with a safe quarterback. You get there with a special one. And when Jeudy describes how Stefanski gives him freedom, how he adjusts his routes based on coverage leverage, he's not doing that for some game manager. He's doing it because his quarterback sees what he sees. And let me say this, not every QB in the league could handle that kind of synergy. It requires trust. It requires IQ. And most of all, it requires timing. But Shedeur, he was built for it. Think about this. You've got a wide receiver who's finally been given a system that lets him breathe, who's been empowered to be a creator, not just a route runner. And now, he's got a quarterback who thrives in chaos, who processes the field in real time, who can shift his reads based on a look from his receiver. That's elite level connection. That's Rodgers to Adams, Mahomes to Kels, Burrow to Chase type chemistry. And it's brewing right now in Cleveland. Look, I'm not saying Shedeur is a lock to win MVP in his rookie season. Let's be realistic. But I am saying that everything Jerry Jeudy said, everything he hinted at points towards something truly special starting to unfold. So here's what we know. Jeudy didn't deflect when asked about the QBS. He emphasized that they're doing their thing. He smiled, paused, showed his cards just a little. He talked about freedom, about trust, about timing. And when you decode all of that, you see the picture forming. It's a picture of no to behind center, poised, confident, dangerous. It's Shedeur time. Now sure, people will say start the bet, that Shedeur needs time, that it's too early. But let me ask you something. When was the last time to early stop the real star? Patrick Mahomes sat 1 year. Josh Allen struggled too. But when the moment came, they took it, and they never looked back. If you think Shedeur hasn't been preparing for this exact moment his entire life, you haven't been paying attention. Because this is the kind of kid who turns pressure into performance, who looks the NFL in the eye and says, I'm ready. Not just with words, but with actions, with throws, with reads, with leadership, and most importantly, with trust. The same trust that Jerry Jeudy is already giving him. Now I'm going to leave you with this. This decision who starts week 1 for the Cleveland Browns is bigger than just picking a quarterback. It's a culture decision, a future-defining moment. Do you go safe and slow, or do you take the leap? Because when you've got a talent like Shedeur Sanders, a receiver like Jerry Jeudy, and a team that's finally built to win, you don't play. It's safe. You play to win. So here we are. The Browns are on the edge of something special. A young quarterback with pedigree, poise, and preparation. A star receiver entering his prime with a chip on his shoulder. And a city hungry for a real shot at greatness. The question now isn't will Shedeur be ready? It's will Cleveland be bold enough to unleash him? Because if they are, if they trust the connection that's already building between Sanders and Jeudy, they're not just getting a quarterback, they're getting a future. And that future might just begin week 1. So what do you think? Did Jerry Jeudy just quietly confirm that Shedeur Sanders is taking over in Cleveland? Or are we reading between the lines too much? Let me know in the comments. And if you want the real breakdowns, the behind-the-scenes takes that ESPN won't say out loud, this is the channel for you. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell, because, trust me, this Browns quarterback controversy, it's only just getting started.